This is Robert Brovdy, who goes by the call sign Madyar. He is the commander of the Ukrainian drone brigade that is currently on the left bank of the Dnipro River in Kherson, hunting Russian equipment and Russian soldiery, and doing a hell of a job of it, by the way, in under conditions that can only be described as hell on earth. And he recently gave a video response to the New York Times article that called his mission a suicide mission. And I thought that it was worth taking the time to try to translate what he said and taking a little literary license, which I hope he doesn't mind. If there are any objections, please let me know. But to encapsulate the sensibility of what this man said, I'm going to read for you what I believe is an accurate transcript of both the substance and the meaning of what he intended in his video response, so that folks, the English-speaking world, can have a sense of what this guy said. There are four groups that he addresses. The first are the New York Times journalists. And to them he says, I appeal to you, dear New York Times journalists. I don't want to infringe on your right to emphasize your subjective perceptions, but this is criminal manipulation in pursuit of sensationalism, and I apologize, royalties, money. That's what you wrote this article for. I am addressing you as the commander of a UAV strike unit who, performing combat missions every day since the first day of this operation, has drawn the ire of the enemy, who spares no expense in personally hunting me and my crew. Capturing the emotional stresses of military personnel is normal. Okay, for your Netflix documentary. Filming them for a generalized rant about our positions is a shameful and criminal manipulation of public opinion. You are using human misfortune to draw fallacious conclusions about the military plan. Why? Why are you doing this? Are you saying it was inappropriate to transfer your weapons to us, when 90% of the value of which is reinvested in your country, boosting and strengthening your economy, providing well-paid jobs and benefits in 38 states? Why don't you comment on the unprecedented losses of the 104th Airborne Division of the Russian Federation on this small piece of land, about which the bunker grandpa lied to the Russian people, claiming there were no losses here? An entire division lost on this small bridgehead, as the enemy mouthpieces call it. Why aren't you talking about the eradicated 810th Brigade of Russian Marines, whose blood watered hundreds of acres of this land? Why don't you investigate the curious case of the liquidation of General Zavadsky, the former division commander who allegedly was blown up by an enemy mine, allegedly? Ukrainian society is very sensitive. Foreign society does not feel this war. Even if they seem very accurate and profitable to you, your careless statements and your powerful mouthpieces can influence the fate of an entire people who are fighting for the kind of freedom and life, having inherited, you take for granted. I appeal to the military personnel of the Ukrainian armed forces. This group of journalists contacted me a few weeks ago. I did not agree to an interview, despite the influence of this publication. Why? Over a cup of tea with ginger, I heard hints of interest in the feasibility of our fight on the left bank. And it seemed the agenda had been predetermined to question the command decisions and paint a picture of the operation as doomed to failure. Under these circumstances, I simply refused to participate in the conversation in which I was certain my words would be manipulated and used against us. To my fellow Ukrainians, the number of actions taken against us by our friends has grown catastrophically. Just what I read the night after this New York Times article came out takes on crazy proportions. Hungary is blocking aid. Austria is blocking sanctions. Poland is blocking its borders. The U.S. is rocking ahead of the elections. We have enough problems without listening to those thousands of rants. Learn not to be fooled by those Western provocateurs who lull their society to sleep and ignore the problems on the NATO border. Finally, I appeal to the international community. Nothing extraordinary will happen in your warm Christmas homes this year. You will have cozy family dinners, gifts, skates, skis, toting up salary bonuses, and everything you expect at the holidays. But I ask you to remember that the problem that our aggressive neighbor created will echo back to you. Those who call themselves the civilized world. As experience has shown, the flight time for the danger that flies across Ukraine is only a few more minutes from us to you. Those are the words of Madyar, and I hear them as a warning to all. I believe in Ukraine. You should believe in Ukraine too. And we should support these people at this hour of their greatest need and not question them when it is so hard out there, when they are making the hard choices and the hard sacrifices to do the right thing and fight for the freedom of this nation and its sovereignty, which we should all respect under the terms of the UN Charter. I want to say a very particular thank you to Jason, who just became a Patreon member. If you support my work and want to see more videos like this, consider joining the Patreon. The link is in the bio. Thank you. And to Madyar, thank you. Thank you.